Thank you, sir. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Biswadeep Chatterjee, Associate Vice President of Engineering R&D Services at HCL Technologies. With over 27 years of experience in VLSI domain, Mr. Biswadeep leads the digital practices within HCL's Semiconductor Business Unit. I would request him to speak few words.
Thank you all for having me here. Throughout 28 years of my experience, right, I've worked in companies like Intel, Texas Instruments, Qualcomm, and I'm sure the gathering here may be wondering what am I talking about in MSME conference, which focuses, because by no means, none of these companies can be termed as MSME. Good part is last 2 years I've spent in HCL Tech, and HCL Tech has given me a ringside view of what's happening in the semiconductor space for MSME companies along with global biggies. HCL needs no introduction, but just as a quick reference, is a $13 billion company spread over 60 plus different countries to 27K what we call ideapreneurs. And as part of its business unit, we are kind of a technology behemoth serving different verticals, starting from transportation, biomedical, defense, aerospace, automotive, biomedical, you name it, we are there. Among all this, semiconductor is also one of the business unit having the distinction of being both vertical and horizontal. In the sense, we span across all these businesses and are able to cater to all these customers. Now, with this background, what we have been seeing is that there has been a tremendous growth in the need for semiconductor product. If you step back maybe 10 years, 15 years back, semiconductor was limited to maybe 20 or 30 companies who are called IDMs or fabless. You know the names as the Intels, AMDs of the world, ST Micro of the world. But today, every single business vertical, be it aerospace, be it defense, be it biomedical, they're trying to add semiconductor in form of custom silicon as part of their full solution stack. Now, along with that, and without AI these days, no presentation is complete. We are seeing with democratization of AI, all these verticals are looking for ways to augment custom silicon either on the edge or on the AI side into their solution space. Now, this should definitely be a music to all your ears because this means tremendous business opportunity for new product. But it comes with challenges. It comes with challenges along with the opportunity in terms of the complex ecosystem that any semiconductor player has to navigate. You have the EDA, electronic design automation, and the tool guys, IP guys. You have the fabrication center. And there's a very complex interplay of all this. So unless you're a seasoned campaigner, it's difficult for you to enter at some point, right? Also, if there are a couple of things that has happened over the years. One, the productivity gap that has happened between what we can actually manufacture. All of you read about these 5 nanometer, 3 nanometer, 18 angstrom technology. We can manufacture, but can we really design at the same pace is a question being asked over and over again. This is, by the way, a 10-year-old graph, and this is still valid even today. The other thing that we are seeing, in the past, all these new nodes were adopted by companies to save cost, but we are not saving cost over a period of time now. Because of the complexity of manufacturing and associated designing, we are actually seeing a reverse trend. So, what does this all mean to India? Why am I saying this to an audience here? Now, the opportunity anytime when it comes in context with Indian subcontinent, with India, right? We look at it, okay, this is something that we can ride the wave of. India, true, if you go by the data, is really on a cusp of growth. While the global CAGR is somewhere around 7% for semiconductor products, we are talking about 24% CAGR here. We looked at the market space, Sanjeev sir and Naveen spoke about the market opportunities that are there. Now, each of these are extremely positive statements which the MSME audience here should be ready to lap up. had global captive centers of all the big names you're familiar with. India has been a captive center, a design service house for the Indian big companies, HCL included. You have all the big names who are serving global customers. But what has happened in that process is we have focused on specific areas, specific skill areas where we can claim mastery, but there are certain areas where we have not invested our time and effort in. For example, we are great in design and verification. We are great with firmware development. We are great with BIOS. But that's not all in our product development. We need to have understanding of product conceptualization, design, yield management, things that India has never focused on. It's just a matter of focus, guys. It's not that this is something other countries can do and we cannot do either genetically or intellectually. It's just we have not focused, and leading which what we are seeing today is that only 1/3 of the companies in India are focused on, startups in India are focused on IP development. Intellectual property development is the key today to building full stack custom silicon. And if you look at the number of companies who are Indian companies who are building system on chip, or ASIC as we call it, application specific integrated circuit, it's even less. Now that's one way of looking at the glass half full, half empty, but the other part is we have government attention today to actually overcome these lacunae, if I may, right? Yes, there are talent shortages. Yes, there are pockets of excellence, but we on the other hand have specific programs. Sanjeev spoke about it, Naveen spoke about it in terms of chip to startup. Having an electronic design automation grid, EDA, the tools which are used for the designing of semiconductor, because we cannot do hand design at such a low geometry, right? These are, 4 of 18 angstrom transistors will come together to constitute one DNA strand. So you can think of the geometry that we are talking about, right? So those EDA tools are available under the aegis of CDAC. There are DLI and PLI schemes that are coming in. These are the government initiatives. There are also initiatives that are started by different companies. As again discussed, Tata is setting up a CMOS fab. HCL on its side has come up with very specific some opportunities and program that I'll talk about. There are 4 main key areas that we have. First one is where for the startups, for the product incubators, we are offering what is called a platform. So if you look at any system on chip, a lot of these components are generic, often repeated. They are not unique to your design. So we have both ARM-based and RISC-V-based platform. As long as you can bring in your IP, which has a standard or standardized, I should say, interface, you can plonk it into the system. It leads to faster time to market, less risk, less investment, because rest of your components are already silicon proven, which increases faster time to first pass silicon. Second, what we have is what we call a IP marketplace. It's very similar to the marketplace that you see all around, right? We have partnerships with 40 plus, I think the number is now closer to 60 different IP vendors all across, with IPs targeted to the type of product you want to build, fast, slow, low power, high performance, with the type of peripherals that you're looking at, technology node that you're looking at. And you're most likely going to find your chosen IP in that marketplace. Second, if you don't, there is a IP porting services offered to get it to that particular performance. The third one that we have, and this is even one step, I'd say, elevated compared to what I mentioned, platform. If you have a semiconductor product idea, but you do not have the wherewithal or the interest in building a full-fledged semiconductor team, you can come to HCL with your specification, work with us, and we will be delivering you a working part. What we are looking for is a detailed specification of your own domain, because you know your domain best, we don't possibly, right? We can work with you, but you give us a specification. Most cases it will be done within HCL. In a few places like manufacturing, it will be done with our partners. We are partners of different foundry service and fabs. We'll take it up for you. And finally, if you want to kind of get your parts validated, tested in a production, do some probing to ensure to do some failure analysis, we have come up with a 25,000 square feet of lab clean room facility, what we call a ATMP, in Jigni, Bangalore. And this is not going to be a production capacity, but this will definitely provide you a faster path to engineering silicon. Right? So that's kind of the pitch here. What we're trying to impress upon you is, yes, semiconductor has a very high entry barrier. Yes, semiconductor is not possibly the easiest product market to enter. But if you can enter this market space, if you can take that leap of faith and have the technology, the idea that you want to productize, there are different opportunities and options for you to succeed. Thank you so much.